Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So in yesterday's session, we have seen the problem statement to find the duplicate number from a given array. Okay. So if I open the project and very first solution was find the duplicate number. Okay. So just for the Nikita, I will just recap what we did yesterday. Okay. So very first solution to find the duplicate number from given array was just to compare the first digit. Okay, let's suppose we have the array 1 2 3 4 2 4 3 5, and here the duplicate numbers are 2 and the second duplicate number is 4. Okay, so now just to calculate the duplicate number, very first solution was that first we will start the loop from the 0. Okay, which means first we will take the first element of the array. After that we have started the another loop which will be starting from I plus 1, which means if it is 0 then it will start from the 1. 1 means the second digit. Okay, so in this array first number is 1, second number is 2. Now what we are doing, we are just comparing this 1 with every other number. Okay, so very first we will compare drawing mode. Okay, so very first in this solution, very first we will compare this 1 with 2. We will check that if 1 is equals to 2. To check that, we have written the condition if array of I means array of 0, which is 1, is equals to array of j. Array of j means array of 1, which is 2. We will check here, is 1 equals to 2. If it is true, then that number will be your duplicated number. Okay, in this case 1 is not equals to 2, so your j will increment and then you will check the 1 with the 3. This is not same, again 1 will checked with 4, 2, 4, 3, 5. Okay, so this one number will checked or compared with all other numbers. If you find any match, then that number will be your duplicated number. Okay, now if we see for the second number, which is 2, so 2 will be compared with 3. So 2 is not equals to 3. Okay, this condition will not satisfy and it will not come inside your if condition. Now this 2 will be compared with 4. The 2 is not equals to 4, so 2 is not duplicated number. Again this 2 will be compared with this 2. Now if you see 2 is equals to 2, right? So this condition is true. That's why here it will come inside your if loop and it will print 2. Same wise for the 4 as well, it will find one another duplicated number which is 4. Okay, now 4 is equals to 4. This condition is matched here and again it will print 4. Okay, so now in this array you have two duplicated number which is 2 and 4 and that will be printed here. Okay, so this was very first and easiest solution we have seen yesterday. Okay, now after that if I close the drawing mode, after that the second solution we have seen by using the HashSet concept. Okay, so HashSet is a concept, or this is the collection framework. Okay, where if you want to store the unique numbers, okay, if you want to store the unique elements, then you can use the HashSet. So if we talk about the HashSet, very much important property of the HashSet is that it contains only unique elements. It will not allow the duplicate elements. Okay, as soon as you try to add the duplicate elements in your HashSet, it will return false and that duplicated element will not be added in your HashSet. Okay, now I told you how to create the HashSet yesterday. So to create the HashSet, you just have to write HashSet, what type of HashSet you want. In this HashSet, I want to store the integer elements. That's the reason we have taken the type as an integer. Okay, then here we give the name as a HashSet. We have created simply like a new HashSet. Okay, after that, as soon as you write this line, very first default size of the hash set is 60, so one empty hash set will get created with the size 60. After that we have written one for each loop. We are taking one by one elements from this array. Okay, now let me open the drawing mode. Okay, and show annotation toolbar. Let me delete everything from here. Now see here I have written one for each loop. So here we have written the array and this is the integer I. Okay, so whenever we are writing the for each loop, that time each element from this array will be come here. Now very first the first element will come, so very first element is 1. So in this I you will be getting the 1. Okay, second time it will take the second element which is 2, after that 4 5. Okay, so this way your array will be traversed on all the elements will be stored in this I variable. Okay, now if I delete this. Okay, so see here what I am trying to do, I have created the for loop. I am taking one by one all the elements from this array and then I am trying to add that element in our hash set. So here we have created the hash set. To add the element in the hash set we are using add method of the hash set. Okay, now here I have written hash set dot add I means the first element of your array. Okay, then is equals to false. False means what? If your hash set contained the element, means if the element is unique in your hash set, that time it will return true. If the element is duplicated, then it will return false. For example, very first it will try to add 1. Okay, so in hash set 1 will be added. After that you will add 2. After that you will add 4, then 5, then 6. Okay, so till this element we have added in our hash set. Now the second element is 6. Okay, so before adding that, whenever you write HashSet dot add and here whenever you are passing 6, that time it will check did you have if you already have added the 6 digit or 6 number in your hash set. Okay, just a minute. Hello Siddhi.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
I am fine, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So okay, so we were talking about the hash set. Okay, so now if I again make it in drawing mode. Okay, so see here we have added 1 2 4 5 and 6. Okay, so till this we have added all the elements in our hash set by writing hashset dot add of I. Okay, now as soon as you try to add this 6, okay, so what it will do, whenever you write hashset dot add and here you are passing 6, that time it will check do you have already 6 added in your hash set. Okay, so this is your hash set, right? And in this hash set you already added 6 one time. Okay, so if you are trying to add the same element second time, then in the hash set will not allow the duplicate values. Okay, so if you try to add the duplicate value 6 again here, then it will simply return false. Okay, for the unique elements it will return true. Okay, so as soon as you are trying to add 6 it will return false. That's why here we are checking if hashset dot add of I, if it is returning false, that means it is a duplicated element, and that's the reason here we are printing that duplicated element. Okay, so for the 6 it will return false. When you try to add the 7, it will return true because first time you are adding 7. As soon as you try to add the 7 second time, it will check Do you have already 7 in your hash set? So here it will find. Then it will return false. As soon as it return false, your if condition will be true. It will come inside your if condition and it will print 7. Okay. So in that way, you will get all the duplicated number from your integer array. Okay, by using hash set. So this is the thing we have seen yesterday, two approaches to find the duplicated number. Okay. Now till now, do you have any questions? If you have any question, let me know. Otherwise, I am going to start with the another concept.
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. So see, this hash set is very important concept. Okay. The same way, we have another concept which we call it as a hash map. Okay. That is also very important concept. So very first, let me make you understand what is the hash map. Okay, and after that I am going to solve the same problem statement by using hash map concept. Okay, so pay attention here. Let me create one class, new Java class, and here I am going to give the name as hash map example. Okay, now let me remove all other hash map example. Okay, so now let me just minimize it, and here I will create the main method. Okay, so see, now you already know about the hash set. Okay, what are the things you know? How to create hash set, what is the default size of the hash set, okay, and how to add elements in a hash set. And the property of hash set is that it will only allow unique digits or unique elements. As soon as you try to add the duplicate elements, it will return false. It will never add the duplicate elements in a set or in a hash set. Okay, now same way we have the another concept which is hash map. Okay, so very first let me make you understand what is hash map. So if I remove this, see here. So let's suppose here I have the student name. Okay, and here I have the marks of the student. Okay, so now if I have the data like this, I have the data of the student where I want to store the student name and the student marks. Okay, so now if you like, we already know the array. Okay, so now if you see how we create the array, let's suppose I want to store the integer element, so I can write integer array, and here in this integer array we can write or we can create the elements like this. Okay, so at a time you can create one integer array, and in that integer array you can add only integer elements. Okay, now if you want to store the name of the student, then you have to create one more array which will be of type string. We will give the name as an array, and maybe here we can add the student name. Let's suppose the first student name is Sheetal, maybe the next student name is Riya. Okay, so this way you can add the array in the array integer elements. If you want to add the string elements, okay, or the name of the student, then you have to create the string array and add the element. At a time in one integer array or at a time in one array, you cannot add both the elements, right? So at a time you cannot write integer array is equal to here 1, then here the student name, then 2 student name, like that. Okay, so that's the reason in the collection framework they have introduced one concept, we call it as a hash map. Okay, now let me delete this. So they have introduced one concept, we call it as a hash map, and this hash map is used to store the key value pair. Key value pair means I have the student name and marks of that student. Okay, so here this student name will be key and these marks are the value, and this whole thing will be your pair of student which contains student name and the student marks. So now if you want to store the value in a key value pair, if you want to store the value in a key value pair, then you will be using the hash map. Okay, hash map is used to store the values in a key value pair. Let's suppose here we have the name of the person. Okay, let's suppose name of the person and the mobile number, right? So here let's suppose the person name is A and mobile number is something like this. Okay, then person name is B, mobile number is something like this. Person number is C, name is C, and mobile number is something like this. Okay, so now whenever you have the requirement where you want to store the values in this format where you have one key, then you have the associated value, and this is whole we call it as a pair. Okay, so now if you want to store any value in key value pair, that time you will be using hash map. Is this clear? Any questions till now? Please speak. You, if you will not acknowledge my question, how I will get to know that are you able to understand or not? If you are silent, I consider it as you are not able to understand. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
You understood, right? What is hash map for now, whatever I have explained. Very simple, in one line answer. If we want to store the key value pair, then you have to use the hash map. That's it. Okay, now let me make you understand how to create the hash map. Okay, so to create the hash map, you have to write hash map. Okay, this hash map is coming from your java.util package. Same way, here we have to use the key and value. Okay, so let's suppose here I want to store the student name and student marks. Okay, so for that student name is of type string. So first I will write string. After that I want to store the value as a student marks. So I will write here integer. Okay, now let me give the name as a hash map, and then you have to write new hash map. Okay, so this way you can create the hash map, then type of key, type of value, name of your hash map, and then to create the object we have to use new keyword, and then what type of object it is of type hash map. Okay, so this way you can create the hash map. Default size of hash map is also 16 as a hash set. Hash set default size is also 16. Okay, now as we created this hash map, now let's understand how to add the element in this hash map. Okay, now to add the elements in this hash map, you have to write hash map dot. Here you don't have the method add. Instead of add, you have the method put. Okay, by using this put method you can add the element in the hash map. Okay, so see here, this put method is expecting two arguments. If you see here, see, put method is expecting two arguments. Very first is k means key, second is v means value. So now our key is student name. Let's suppose the student name is Ria, and the student marks, let's suppose Ria got 98 marks. Okay, now if you want to add the another elements or another pair, then you can same like write hash map dot put, and here you can give the any name, and maybe she got 100. Okay, now let's suppose we have some more students. Okay, and let's suppose she got 88. Okay, so this way if you want to add the elements in the hash map, then you can use hash map dot put key and value. Okay, so this way you can add the elements in your hash map. Okay, so very first we have seen how to create hash map. Okay, after that we have seen how to add elements in hash map. Okay, now let me make you understand how to get the elements from the hash map. Okay, so to get the elements from hash map. Okay, now to add the element we have the method put. Same wise, to get the element we have the method hashmap dot get. But if you see get method, okay, so see here, get method contains or get method expecting only one input, which is key. Means if you ask this hash map, like if you want to get the mark of Ria, okay, then here you need to pass the key is Ria. So if you pass the Ria, it will give the marks of Ria. If you pass Dipali, it will give the mark of Dipali. If you want to pass Nikita, it will give the mark of Nikita. Okay, so now if I print here S out and then hashmap dot get, and here if I pass, let's suppose Dipali, then whenever you are writing hashmap dot get and passing the key, it will check in hashmap. Very first it will see where is the key with this Dipali is present. So it will find this key, then it will print the associated value of the student Dipali. Now if I save this and run, you will get the output as 100 because Dipali got 100 marks. See here. Okay, same wise, if you want to get the marks of Ria, then you can pass the key as a Ria and it will get the marks of the Ria. Now if I save this and run the program, then here you will get the output as 98. Okay, so this way you can create the hash map, you can add the elements in the hash map, and you can get the elements. For now, like whatever I have explained, is this clear to everyone? Because hash map is very much important concept. In coming interview questions, I am going to use this hash map concept. That's the reason I am spending some time to make you understand what is the hash map, how to create, how to get the element, how to put the elements. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Ma'am, in hash map we have to put the again Nikita mark. How to access this mark? Means we have to repeat. Means key
Okay.
value must be
So
unique.
means you want to put hashmap dot put, and let's suppose here you want to add Nikita, and let's suppose she got 78, right? Do you mean this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so like in the hash map, okay, in the hash map also the duplicate elements will not be like allowed. Duplicate elements in the sense duplicate key should not be there. Okay, but duplicate values are allowed. Okay, duplicate keys will not be allowed, but duplicate values are allowed. Okay, so now see here, if you are trying to add the Nikita, first you have added Nikita with the marks 88. After that you are again trying to add the Nikita same key with the another marks. Okay, so that time what will happen, if I make it in drawing mode, see here, when you add the Ria, okay, so let's suppose here we have the hash map. So in this hash map, very first you have the key and then value. So very first you try to add the Ria. Okay, so here Ria will be added, and Ria, the marks will be added. She got 98. After that you have added Deepali. She got 100. After that you have added Nikita. She got 88. Okay. Now you are trying to add the same key, but HashMap doesn't allow the duplicate key. Okay. You should have only the unique keys in your HashMap. Okay. Now as soon as you try to add the duplicate elements, it will not give you any compile time runtime error. Simply, if you see, currently the value of Nikita is 88, but here you are trying to add the Nikita with 78. So simply it will override the value. Instead of 78, currently the Nikita's value will become 78. Okay. Now see here, if you want to see, let's suppose here we want to print the value of Nikita. Okay, so now here the output will be 78, the latest value which you have added for the Nikita. If I save this, run, see here you are getting 78, because the previous value which Nikita was having, which is 88, is overridden by 78. Now if you try to add the same thing again, let's suppose here you are again trying to add the same key and you want to change the numbers. Okay, so let's suppose she got 99. If I save, now instead of 78 you will get the output as a 99. Let me save and run. See here, you are getting the latest value. Okay, so in the HashMap, duplicate keys are not allowed, but duplicate values are allowed. Okay, if you are trying to add the duplicate keys, it will not give you any compile time runtime errors. Simply it will override the previous value. Okay, now are you clear, Dipali?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now let's suppose here I want to add hashmap dot put, and let's add the another student, let's suppose Nikunj, and here I want to add the value as a 88. So see here, Nikita also got the mark as a 88 and Nikunj is also having the mark 88. So here the keys are unique, but if you see the value, this 88 is duplicated here. Okay, now if I save this, okay, if I write here sout hashmap dot get off, and here if I pass Nikunj, then you will get the value for Nikita as a 88 and value for Nikunj also as a 88. Okay, so if I save and run, see here, both the students are having the same marks. Okay, so from that point you understood that the duplicate keys are not allowed, but duplicate values are allowed. Okay, now one more thing is that in your hash map you can also add the null as a key. This is the very important interview question. In interview, interviewer will first ask you what is the hash map. Okay, so you can tell them what is the hash map. Hash map is a collection framework. If you want to use or if you want to store the values in a key value pair, that time you can use the hash map data structure or hash map collection framework. Now to create the hash map, we can write hash map, then the type of the hash map, then new hash map. As soon as we are writing that statement, then your empty hash map will get created. Now to add the element in the hash map, we use put method. In the put method, we will pass key and value. To get the elements from the hash map, we use get method. Now in the hash map, the duplicate keys are not allowed, but duplicate values are allowed. Also, in the hash map, we can put null as a key and null as a value. But null as a value you can put any time. But key, if you try to let's suppose very first, let me just make it clear. So see, you already know that keys are unique, so you can add the null as a key in your hash map only once, means only one time you can add the null. If you try to add the another time, same thing will be happen like previously. If you were like currently we have the Nikita, if you are trying to add the Nikita with some other value, then simply that value will be replaced. Same thing will happen with null. If you are trying to add the another element with the key as a null, then it will simply replace the value of the newly added element whose key is null. Okay, are you clear? These are very important points related to the hash map. Very high level I have I am telling you what is the hash map concept. Any questions till now? Is everything clear to everyone? Nikita, are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Riya, Nikunj.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Dipali, you are clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you put key value per set at a time? Just like in Python?
Key value pair?
मॅम पायथन मध्ये आपण सेट मध्ये ऍड करू शकतो, म्हणजे ग्रुप मध्ये ऍड करू शकतो ना एका स्टेटमेंट मध्ये की व्हॅल्यू पेअर कोलन देऊन.
Means exactly what you want. I didn't get like question.
मॅम इन पायथन we assign key colon value in
Okay.
group.
Okay.
मतलब एका स्टेटमेंट मध्येच आपण ऍड करतो
Okay,
कोलन
okay,
की
okay.
कोलन व्हॅल्यू. तसं मग इथं नाही करू शकत का एक असं वन
For
स्टेटमेंट
that,
मध्ये?
yes, you can do. Okay, but see here. If you see here the put method, okay, so if you go to the put method of the hash map, see here. In the put method of the hash map, it is only allowing to add key and value. So at a time only one pair you can add. You cannot add multiple pairs for the hash map, because this is the implementation provided by Java people, and they are saying that whenever you want to add the value or the pair in the hash map, you should always send key and value. See here. So at a time you can add only one key value pair in your hash map. Like Python, I think we cannot do in the Java. Okay. Any other questions, Siddhi?
No ma'am, it's clear now.
Okay, fine. Now now see here. Here I told you how to get the values. Okay, so here we are passing the key and we are getting the value. Now let me tell you how to traverse the map and how to print the keys and values both. Okay, so now here to traverse the map, okay, how we can do, let me explain you. So here you can write for, okay, then map. Okay, map is the interface, okay, and hash map is the implementation class of the map interface. Are you know what is the interface and what is the implementation class? Anyone can answer what is the interface and what is the implementation class? Are you aware about the interface? Siddhi? No?
Yes ma'am, it's like a just print blueprint, sorry.
Okay,
Blueprint of class which
And
provides interface between two classes.
correct. So if you are not clear about the implementation, okay, you are just know the very basic thing, okay, you are not aware about the implementation, okay, that time you can just provide the blueprint in your interface, okay, and after that as soon as you got the implementation details, then in the implemented class you can provide that details, okay. So interface is a blueprint. In the implementation class you can provide the implementation of that particular interface. For example, see here, okay, so this map is the interface. If we go to the map, see here, in this map, okay, in this map if you see, they have just provided here. See here, they have just declared the method like int size. They have not provided the implementation. Whenever we provide the implementation, we write method name then curly brackets, right? But here they have just declared the method size, then is empty. After that contains value with different parameter. Okay, so this way you can just here they have just declared the method. You will not get the implementation in your map interface. If I go above, see here, this is the interface, okay. Now if we go to our class, okay, and if I go to the HashMap, class, see here, the HashMap is a class which extends abstract map and which implements map interface, okay. So HashMap is an implementation class of map interface. Whenever we are saying the implementation class, you will see that here, if you go below, okay, otherwise let me just do Control F and size. Just a minute, huh? So let's suppose the put method. If we go here, see here, whenever we are writing this way, okay, so public method name parameters curly brackets, then this is the implementation, and here we are closing the curly bracket, okay. So this HashMap is a implementation class, hence it is providing all the method implementation. But in the map they will just declare the methods and the implementation will be there in your implemented classes, okay. Now here this is your map interface, okay. Now I was about to tell you how to traverse the array, okay. So map dot entry, as we want to get first entry, then second entry, then third entry, okay. In the entry you will get key and value pair, okay. Now here also you have to mention the type. If you are not mentioning, there is no issue, it will not give you any error, but just for your understanding you should always provide the generics, okay. So here the key is of type string and value is of type integer. Let me give the name as a map. After that, here we have to use our hash map and then entry set, okay, so that it will give one by one entries in this map variable, okay. After that, here you can simply print map dot get key. Whenever you are writing get key, it will print this key from your hash map. After that, you want to print the value as well, so here you can just write map dot get value, okay. So this way you can traverse the array by using map dot entry, then hash map dot entry set method. And in this method, in this map dot entry, you have the method get key and get value. Get key will get the key, get value will get the value. Now if I save this, you will get the key colon value. Okay, so let me save and run. See here. So this 88 output we are getting from these two lines. Let me comment these lines. Save the program and run it again, so that we can get all the key value pairs. So see here, very first, see here, and one more thing I forget to tell you, that in the hash map your order will not be maintained. See here, very first I have added Riya, after that Deepali, then Nikita, then Nikunj, and then Null. But here the order is not the same as you have inserted. Very first it is printing Null, after that Nikita, then Nikunj, then Deepali, then Riya. Okay, so every time whenever you execute the program, you may get different outputs. Different output means the elements will be same, but order will be different. So see here, very first you got the key value pair for the key Null, after that you got for the Nikita, then Nikunj, then Deepali, and then Riya. Okay, so this way you can traverse the map and print key value pair. Okay, are you clear with this? Do you have any questions till now?
Ma'am, if you want to manually take input from user, then what will we do?
If you want to take the input from user for key and value, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's very simple. See here, you can use the scanner class. Sc is equal to new scanner. Then here you can write system dot in. This much you already know. Okay, after that you want to take the input from the user. Let's suppose for this hash map you want to take the input from user. Okay, so very simple, you can just write string name is equals to sc dot next, then integer marks is equal to sc dot next int. Okay, and then instead of passing Riya here, you can pass name. Instead of passing the marks here, you can pass marks. Okay, and you can put the messages as well, like sout, enter name of the student. Once you enter the name of the student, you can write the message enter marks of the student. Now if we save, okay, you will like here you will ask for one student. Okay, but this student are hard coded. If you want to put, or if you want to take the input for all this student, then how you will be doing? You need to write the for loop. Okay, you need to write the for loop, and in that for loop you can write these statements for how many times you want to take the input from the user. Okay, so now let me show for this one. Now if we save this, okay, and if I just comment this one or remove this one, then one element will be added here. Let me save, let me execute. So see here, very first it will ask for the student name. Okay, let me add the name as a Siddhi. Then it is asking yes.
Clear.
Okay, now let me add the marks as a 89. So see here, as soon as you have added the key as a Siddhi and marks as a 89, then your key value pair is printed here. If you want to do this, let's suppose 5 times or 6 times, then you can add the same lines, this many lines, in the for loop, right? So here you can write the for, which will start from 1 less than, let's suppose 4 student you want to add, then you can increment it, and same thing you just have to add here, right? Clear, right, Siddhi? Now if we save and execute, let's see, are we like able to enter the input for 4 student. So let's add the student. Very first name I will take of Ria, mark I will take 78, then second student maybe Nikita, the marks 90, third student maybe Dipali, marks 97, and then let's take Nikunj, marks as 92. See here, 4 student we have added, and then we have printed the details of all the student. Okay, so this way you can take the input from the user and then put in your hash map. Are this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone have any questions? If you are clear with this, you will be getting very much advantage of this, because in the interview if you get the questions like can you print the duplicate number, okay, or can you please print the count of duplicate number, or can you please print the count of each character in your string, or can you please print the count of each word from your sentence. Okay, if this type of questions are coming, then you can always use the hash map. The logic will be very much similar for all the questions. Very less modifications you have to do to get the output. Okay, so you should be clear with the hash map concept, so that in the interview if they are asking anything like this, then you can just use the hash map concept and give them the answer. Okay, clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
okay, perfect. Now let me show you the same problem statement, right? What was the problem statement? The duplicate number. Find this one, right? So find the duplicate number from the integer array. Same thing we are now going to do by using the hash map. Okay, if you are clear with hash map, it will be very easy for you. Now let me create one more class. Okay, I will give the name as find duplicate number using hash map. So here I have created the main method. Okay, now let's create one integer array. Okay, see here, integer array is equal to, let's suppose I have the element 2 3 4 5. 3 is duplicated, and let's suppose 5 is duplicated, then we have one more element 6. Okay, now we want to calculate the duplicate numbers. Here the duplicate numbers are 3 and 5. Okay, now we have to create the hash map. How can we create the hash map? I told you, right? Hash map. Then here you can give the type of the hash map. So let's suppose here we have the integer elements. Okay, now very first let me just open this in the drawing mode. Okay, delete everything. Very first let me like explain you what I am trying to do. Okay, so what is the problem statement? Problem statement is to find the duplicate number. Okay, so here if we see, we have this 2. Okay, let's take it as a key. In the value we will take the count of that digit, like how many time this 2 is came in your array. Okay, so let's suppose here 2 is there in like only one time. Okay, so here the count will be 1. Then 3, if you see 3 is here Okay, so first occurrence of this 3 and the second occurrence is this one. Okay, so the value will be 2. Value means we are just storing the count of digit. Okay, so here the 3 came 2 times, so here I am storing 2 as a value. After that 4 came only one time. 5, if you see here, 5 first occurrence and then this is second occurrence, so the value will be 2, and 6 came one time. Are you able to understand how we are relating our problem statement with the hash map? So in the hash map we will store our array elements as a key and the count of each element as a value. Okay, so now see here, 2 came one time, 3 came two times, 4 came one time, 5 came two times, 6 came one time. So if the count is 1, which means the element is a unique element. If count is 2 or greater than 1, means if let's suppose this 5 is came one more time, then the count of this 5 will become 3. 3 means if it is more than 1, it means it is duplicated element. Are you able to understand what we are trying to achieve?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here we will create one hash map where key will be the elements of your array and value will be the count of each element from your array. Then you can check that here you just have to write if value is greater than 1. Okay, then that is your duplicated number or duplicated element, right? This logic we can write right, to get the duplicate number. Are you able to understand? Everyone?
Yes,
Everyone, right? Anyone if not able to understand, let me know before writing the program. First theoretically or the logic, if you are able to understand, then writing the program will be very much easy. Everyone is clear? Riya, Nikunj, Deepali?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let me delete this and let me write the the solution. Okay, so very first thing you have to create hash map where key will be elements from array and value will be count of each element. Okay, very first let's create the hash map. You all know how to create hash map. Hash map, here the key is of type integer and value is also of type integer because count is also of type integer, right? So that's why here we will write integer as a key and integer as a value. Then let me give the name as a hash map is equals to new hash map. Okay, so this way we have created our hash map. Second step you have to do, you have to take one by one elements from this array and you have to put that elements in your hash map. Okay, so how you can put the elements in the hash map? Very first you have to write the for loop where for each loop, okay, or for loop, anything you can write. So now I am writing the for each loop where I will take one by one element from the array. Okay, now here we will try to add the element in the hash map. Okay, so now see here in the hash map you have to add very first the integer element and then the count of integer element. Okay, so as you already know, 2 has the count 1, then 3 has the count 2. Okay, so very first whenever if I open in draw mode, see here, very first when you add the 2, count will be 1 because currently in your hash map you don't have anything. Okay, so that's why the count will be 1. Then for the 3 means this one, very first when you add this element in your hash map, the count will be 1. After that you add 4, then the count of 4 will be 1. After that you are trying to add 5, then count will be 1 very first. Okay, after that you are trying to add 3. Okay, so see here, 3 is already there, it will just increment the count from 1 to 2, means previously the 1 was already added. After that you are just doing 1 plus 1, which will become 2. Okay, now let me delete this and write the same thing. uh, so see here, whenever you are adding the element in your hash map, very first you need to check if HashMap dot, here you have the method contains key and contains value. Contains key will check do you already have the key in your hash map. Okay, so let's suppose contains key and here I am passing I. So we are taking one by one elements from the array. Very first it will take 2. Okay, so HashMap dot contains key 2. It will check do we have 2 as a key in your hash map. So currently hash map is empty, you don't have the key 2 in the hash map. Okay, right? So it is checking that do you already have the 2 as a key in your hash map. You don't have the 2, right? So that's why it will go to your else, and then you can add hashmap dot put. Here the key will be I, and very first initially the count of the 2 will be 1, because very first time you are trying to add this 2, right? If this 2 is coming second time, then it will just increment this I with increment this 1 with plus 1, right? So let's suppose here 2 came, we have put that 2 here, so 2 minus 2 comma 1, 2 as a key and count as a 1. Then 3 will come, 3 will come, it will add 3 comma 1. 4 will come, it will check hashmap dot contains key 4. Do you have 4 as a key in your hash map? No. Are you able to understand? Very first let me just open this in the drawing mode, so I make you understand. Okay, drawing mode. So see here, I have written the logic. Now I just have to make you understand. Okay, so see here, I have written the logic. I am taking one by one elements. Okay, let's suppose very first I take the 2. Here it will come hashmap dot contains 2. Hashmap is empty, so very first it will it will check hashmap dot contains 2. Do we have 2 in your hash map? So we don't have 2, so this condition will be false, right? So that's why it will come to the else. It will add hashmap dot put I means 2 and 1. So 2 is the key and 1 is the value. After that again it will come for the 3. 3 is also not there in your hash map, so it will just come to your else. It will add 3 and the count as a 1. Then for the 4 also it will come to the else hashmap dot put. It will add 4, count as a 1. Then here for the 5 same thing will be done, 5 and 1. Then 3. So it will check here hashmap dot contains key 3. It will check in this hash map, do you have the key as a 3? So see here, here it will find that we already have the key as a 3. Hashmap dot contains 3. So this condition will be true. Okay, now if this condition is true, then here you have to write hashmap dot put I comma, we cannot write 1, right? Because 1 count is already there. We need to take this count. Now to get the value of this 3, how we can write that? You already know, right? How to get the value for particular key. For example, in the last example we have seen hashmap dot get of Nikita. Then it was giving the marks of the Nikita. Same way, now I want to get the value where key is 3. So for that, here we can write HashMap dot get of this 3, which means I. Okay, and then you just have to write +1. So get of I will become 1 plus 1, which will be 2, and then here the count will become 2 instead of 1. Are you able to understand? Let me delete this and let me just close and write here. Okay, so as soon as you are getting the duplicate elements, that time here you can write hashmap dot put I as a key, and for the value you can write hashmap dot get of I, means very first get me the count of that number, and then just increment that count by 1. Okay, now if we save this, okay, here all the elements will be added in your hash map. Now you need to print the duplicate digit. Okay, so for that you can write for, now you need to traverse the map. You already know how to traverse map dot entry. Here you can give the type integer, comma integer. Let me give the name as a map. Then you can use your hash map dot entry set. Okay, now here you have to check if map dot get value, because in the value we are storing the count. If your count is greater than 1, which means that is the duplicated element. If it is greater than 1, then you can print map dot get of key. Okay, in the key you have the array elements, in the value you have the count. If that number has the count greater than 1, which means that element is not a unique, that is the duplicated element, and we are just printing that duplicated elements. Now if you see here, in this array we have the duplicated element as a 3 and duplicate element as a 5, so we should get the output as a 3 and 5. Now if we save this and run the program, we should get 3 and 5. See here, are we getting correct output? Now if I change here, let's suppose we are repeating the 6 as well. Now if I save, I should get 3, 5 and 6. Let me execute. See here, 3, 5 and 6 are the numbers which are duplicated in this array. Are you able to understand whatever logic I have explained? Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone have any questions? Any line is not able to understand? Let me know.
मॅम ते व्हॅल्यू कशी इन्क्रीमेंट झाली काही समजलंच नाही.
Okay, this one, right? Line number 16. See here, I will explain you again. This is very like simple. Let me explain you again. Okay, see here, as soon as you have written this 13 line, one map will get created. Okay, with the key and value. Key will be your array elements and value will be your count of that array element. Okay, now see here, we are checking that if hashmap dot contains I, contains key means it is just checking do we already have the value or not. If you already have the value, it is just incrementing the count by 1. How? Let me explain. See here, very first you have added 2 as a key. As you are adding 2 very first time, the value or the count of this 2 will be 1. Then you are adding 3, so count will be 1. After that you are adding 4, count will be 1. Because see here, in your map you don't have 4 before, right? Very first time you are adding, so value will be 1, as here you are putting the value as a 1. After that you are trying to add 5, then the count will be 1. After that you are trying to add this 3. See here, it will check hashmap dot contains key 3. So it is checking that do we contain the key as a 3 previously. In your hash map this 3 is already present. Okay, so see, now this if condition is satisfied, so it will not come on your else. Okay, if it was coming to the else, then it is putting the value as a 1. But if you see, as our if condition is satisfied, it will come to your hash line number 16. Now here we are trying hashmap dot put I means your value, which is 3 now. Then hashmap dot get of I, hashmap dot get of 3. Now see, in the previous example I have written hashmap dot get of Dipali. Okay, so what was the value for you in previous example? What was the mark I have given to you?
100.
Okay, so whenever we are writing hashmap dot get, what it was giving us, it was giving us the value which was 100, right? Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Now for the Nikita we had given the mark as a 98. So if I am passing here the get of Nikita, it was giving me her mark which was 98, right? So same thing as a key means here, like the Deepali or Nikita, you have this digits, these keys, and as a 198 you have these values. Okay, so now if you are writing get of 3 means get of 3, it will give the associated value for the key 3. Associated value for this 3 is 1. So here when you are writing hashmap dot get of 3, it will return you this value. So here you will get 1. Then you have written plus 1. 1 plus 1 will become 2, and then I is 3. So this value for this 3 will become 2 at the count. Are you able to understand now how the count is getting incremented?
Yes, ma'am.
Because very first it will try to get the count from your array by using get of key, plus you are adding 1. So that's what here it is incrementing. Everyone is able to understand, right? I want everyone to understand this concept. Anyone is finding any difficulties, let me know.